If we go on like the 15, you guys will be able to see it. Let's go ahead and go on that. So you can see, and we did break above this moving average. Okay, so we can potentially see this go a little bit further. And then on just looking on the higher time frames, see it's mad. It looks very bullish on the higher time frames. Okay, so the higher time frame rules all. Okay, because essentially on a lower time frame, it could just be going up and down, up and down, up and down. But if you go on a higher time frame, it's just not even moving. Okay, so though we did have some indecision, we do have some slowdown. We did have a strong bullish break, and again, this would be a very, very key weekly close. Okay, if it does close below this this candlestick and engulf it, we could potentially see some correction to the downside. But if it does break above, we can see some further movement to the upside, potentially up to these zones. And essentially, looking at the daily, we did have a strong doji and a candle that broke or closed right where that was. Okay, but if this daily, I believe what time is it? So it's 5 o'clock. So it did break above. Okay, and it did engulf these last 2 days. And you guys see we made some new highs as well.
It's just struggling to get out of that range.
It is struggling.
As soon as it breaks out of that range, it's gone. It's gone.
Take off. No pullback. No pullback.
No pullback.
Because essentially there's no pullback because people are buying and sellers are closing their sells. So it just makes a snowball effect. Okay.
Jeez.
So essentially, people are trying. That's how these impulses happen. Okay. So people are buying and sellers are closing at the same time. Okay, because they're worried they're going to get stopped out or hit their position. So it's a snowball effect. All right. So that's how the market moves.
Could you see it coming back down off that double top? Because I could see all these wicks at the top being just fakes.
This weekly close could be very key. You guys can see we are back at the highs of this zone, so got some wick rejection. All right, some mad wick rejection in this zone. So we'll see how this plays out. Cryptos. CAD CHF. I'm really looking to take a buy on this trade shortly. The reason I say this, okay, we do see we have a nice channel going. Okay, I really like to draw my channels because I want to know where price is headed, meaning, you know, if I'm at the bottom of the channel, there's no reason for me to sell. You know what I mean? So this is very important to know, to draw your channels and your trends because you're trading with the trend, okay? When it's on a downtrend, you want to be looking for long-term sells. So here we were on a downtrend. Okay, so we had this long sell, small correction, long sell. Okay, so this was just the reason it's only 2 waves because it stopped at the bottom of this trend line. Okay, so well-respected zone, just looking at the past. Okay, so essentially what I'm looking for, let me just go ahead and delete these lines. So I am seeing this inverted head and shoulders. Okay, so it is on a daily.
Yeah, that's
So you guys can see the left shoulder, the head.
Oh, dang.
In the right shoulder, we broke this trend line.
Yeah.
And if we get a nice correction,
It's
like a wick 61.
Bro.
TP, top of the channel.
How do we enter?
Yeah, we have to scale down to see how we can execute this trade. So essentially, I'm really loving this bullish candlestick though. You can see we engulfed the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you guys. And you guys see we made new highs. So let's go ahead and scale down to the 4 hour. You guys can see it looks like we did break this flag correction right over here. Looks like it's retesting right now. So we're gonna definitely have to look for an entry on this. See wick to 61, and you guys can see it was support to resistance. And go ahead and scale down further.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's just place our parameters and see. Okay. So TPs, just simply look at the past. I can see we had the second touch on the trend line, and this is the first touch on the trend line, which is the top of the zone. So TP1 would be 70 pips, TP2, 140. All right, let's go ahead and minimize that risk. But let me go ahead and go further down, because I would love to see a better entry. But you see, I'll take the impulse from this move. So I'll just scale down on a lower time frame and use my Fibonacci tools to look for an entry. The 61 would over here, so it would match up with this moving average. You guys can see we do have some confluence, and I would like the risk on that because it would be below this swing. Okay. The TP.
That'll also be like 60 pips.
Lowest, oh, from over here, from the head. No, I'm talking about the right shoulder. 30 pips from the right shoulder. Okay.
You said to the bottom of the swing? On the right
shoulder? If you see right over here, it's at the bottom of this swing, the nearest swing low, which is the right shoulder.
Oh, that's if we wait for it to come back down.
If we wait for it to come back, exactly. TP1 would be give us more pips, 95 pips. Obviously, we wouldn't wait to secure over here. We would definitely secure partials, 30 to 60 pips, or depending on your risk, 2 to 3%, and you can play that out multiple ways, depending on how big you want your stop loss to be. Okay, so essentially, yeah, I would really like to see this entry right over here, and you can see it did break this trend line. Okay, so other than that, yeah, so essentially, you guys have any questions on this setup? So simple technicals, and if it breaks this neckline, okay, that's confirmation for added positions. If it breaks this neckline, all right. Other than that, CHF-JPY, oh my gosh. This pair literally tapped our stop loss and missed our stop entry, or our entry by like 8 pips. Okay, we were looking at this break, retest, continuation. Then we had this break, retest. We're looking for the 61, and it was in confluence with the 109 psychological zone. We were 8 pips shy. You can see we tapped the trend line, and we just continued down. Right now, it is in the middle of the range. Okay, so I would wait to see. It finish.
This is the trend line that I came and tested. This like diagonal one. That's the one that you had, like the channel.
Yes.
It met up perfectly
with the 23.
So consolidation.
Roy is telling me that the break of this this channel matches up with the 23 fib. Okay, so we could potentially, since there was a strong impulse, we could have usually when we have a strong impulse, you don't usually get a deep correction. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we can potentially see some correction at the 23.38. Okay, so I want you guys to keep in mind, again, usually when you have a strong impulse, you don't usually get a deep correction. All right, other than that, we could wait to see this get down here and play it out. If it breaks, awesome, we could sell. If it doesn't, we have some daily reversal. Like we waited over here. This is how we got in on this trade. You guys can see we had that that pin bar off the daily candlestick, which signifies bearish momentum or bearish strength, especially with this past support zones. We had multiple wick rejections in this area. All right, and you can see it's the 109,500 psychological zone. Okay, and you guys can see if you look in the past, it is well respected, and we are in a downward trend. Again, the trend is your friend. So this was a juicy setup. Again, if it breaks, we have a breaker bounce situation essentially when it gets to this swing low. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, potential 3 touches. We can get some correction. Okay, we can buy. If it doesn't, we can sell. And this looks exactly like NUD USD. Okay, and that's how we call the buy of that. Euro NZD, I know people are looking at this pair. Though we did have a very strong daily engulfing. All right, I do not trust it. I'm going to wait for the break of this trend line. Okay. If it breaks this trend line, because I do see that M formation. I don't know if you guys have been on our previous calls, how M's and W's form. Okay. Usually have the market comes in. Market comes in, consolidates to build orders, breaks above to accumulate more orders. Okay. The market can only move if it has other positions in its against it. Okay. So you have to understand that the only way to win in this market is if someone else loses, okay? Because you're essentially taking money from other players or money in the market, okay? So in order for you to win, someone else has to lose. All right, so essentially what they're doing, they're shooting price up. You guys can see they brought price up above this swing high, convincing participants, oh, it's going to continue, okay? So imagine how many people had buy stops or buy limits as soon as it broke. Okay, all those orders are now in the market, and imagine how many are trapped right now because price is below. All right, so essentially they're accumulating orders. It could be a fake out or it could be continuation. I don't know. So we need to see some further evidence. Okay, so essentially if it breaks the zone, we could continue, and this could be the downfall we've been finally waiting for. All right, of the euro. Okay. Other than that, does anyone have any questions? Again, we're going to look at potential entries, monitor these pairs that we're looking at. GJ, I don't know if I went over GJ. So again, we had this consolidated zone. Essentially, we had the strong 4-hour close, all right, and engulfed these previous 1, 2, 3, 4 candlesticks. Strong impulse. Okay, it looks like it is slowing down. This could be a potential re-entry. Okay, it is coming back to the 61 Fibonacci. It looks the 136,500 psychological zone. Though this was a strong impulse, let me go ahead and see the daily. The daily still looks was a strong wick. Okay, so I'd like to see how price plays out in this zone. Okay. Other than that, don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. Hope you guys enjoyed the call. Appreciate everyone for hopping on. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the chat or hit us up privately. GN, my man Anish. Let's see. My man is Sniper. My man Anish been sending me setups on the low. And they are looking very juicy, Anish. Let's see. NZ. So I haven't looked in this pair in a minute. Go ahead and go on the daily, and let's go ahead and remove all drawing tools. Okay, so essentially what I'm seeing on the daily time frame, we just go ahead and box this zone up. It looks like we did break this zone, break, flag. Okay, I would say take sells up here, or if it breaks down here. This is looking very juicy. This is definitely going to be on my radar now. Got a couple touches on this trend line. Okay, so usually when you see a break like this, a break of a trend line, price usually consolidates. Okay, a great example, USD JPY. Okay, we had a strong break of this trend line. You guys can see. And you guys can see we just consolidated right here and right here. Okay, where can we take entries? At the top of the consolidation or the break of the consolidation. All right, and just scaling down on a lower time frame, you guys can see that break and close. All right, Anish, definitely bearish on this. Really appreciate you for bringing it to my attention. And again,